here today. Italian is an Imola native. As a child, he would visit this very circuit and help in the paddock and media center. The British constructor Arrows is maybe known as the most unsuccessful constructor with 0 wins after 383 attempts. That doesn't mean they never came close though. Out of the odd podium finishes, 2 of them happened here at Imola.
Okay, so after we've seen some crazy moments in regards to last week in Miami, I have to give some huge credit to Owen and Luke, who took the source of doing the stream for me. So definitely have to give my thanks to those guys. But yeah, I don't know much details on it, but I'll try to get caught up on that as best I can. But anyways, we're in round 5 of RPL F1 Season 9. We are at Imola. Nice thing is, we're in game, racing on a clear sky, not dealing on a flooded underwater track. So, for those that missed in real life Imola a couple months ago, you get to see it tonight. So, Ty and Ironwolf on comms yet again. So last week for Miami, just taking a look at the results here, Scyther was the winner in Miami, Jack finished in second, and Reese wound up finishing in third. In the Drivers' Championship, Scyther claims the championship lead over TB, Reese is in second, and Reese is in third with 51. Now, the difference between Scyther and TB, 69, giggity, and 60. And then in Constructors, Red Bull still has the Constructors lead, 129 to 101 over Ferrari, and Mercedes just trounced Aston Martin for third right now, 51 to 49. And only one team has still yet to score points in the Constructors, that team being Haas. So, let us take a look at our field. We have one driver inbound. That's going to be Scyther. I had to invite his his ass. Oh, if I can find him now. There he is. About time. Anyways, so AFJ currently coming across on the interlap. 20.9. Fanflow is on board with a 16-0. So we have 19 participating. Let's take a look at everybody so far. So the Haas team, we have Gerard and Florian in the Haas's. Pinarello on loan to Williams. He is on board for that. AFJ Mercedes. Bourbon Alpha Tauri. Jack responsible to Red Bull. 15-0. George in the other Williams. Beatnik, Aston Martin. Sicaria, also an Aston Martin. DeChiller and Scyther will be teaming up together, and Ferrari. Scyther is on his way. Lewis Piper on board for McLaren. Adds in AlphaTauri. Josh, Mercedes. Will, who is a last-second reserve for McLaren. He has a quali ban to serve for that. Reese in Red Bull. Crispy and Red Fire in the Alpines, and last but not least, Stenner going solo once again in the Alfa Romeo. Now the reason Stenner is flying solo is because Jack, who's in the Red Bull, is contracted to loan for Alfa Romeo until round 11 of RPL F1. Now, under the rules of the loan, if Red Bull needs him for any specific reason, they can withdraw Jack to run in Red Bull or AlphaTauri. And Alfa Romeo will have to have another driver. Now they did have one in the form of TVR Musty. Unfortunately, Musty completely forgot that he was on reserve and is now unavailable to race. George just puts in his time, 16:3. George, yesterday was was he the winner in Tier 2 Spain? I believe he was. Somewhere in Spain. Yes, he was. He was the winner in Spain. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at some interesting stats in regards to today's event, as Redfire is currently out and starting his lap. So we'll take a look with him. So here's what we got for our stats. So Alfa Romeo, Ferrari, Red Bull, and Aston Martin are the only 4 teams in RPL right now to have secured a spot on the podium. So far, we've had 8 finishers, the least of the season so far. 19 as our most. Now, Alpine and Haas are the only teams in RPL going into this round to have double DNFs in multiple races this season. Haas, to add on, has yet to score any points in this year, and also Haas is even having some more difficulties because going into this round, 4 for 4, at least one Haas has retired from RPL events. Scyther, who is here, finished no worse than 2nd in the races he's competed in. And 4 different teams have set fastest laps, 6 different drivers on the podium, 19 different drivers from 9 different teams have scored points. Haas being the only team yet to score a point. Redfire is going to have to reset for his lap, 27.9, so he has to reset. But take a look at some other drivers that put in their times. Jack's still on top with a 15.0. Zakaria sitting in 2nd with a 15.2. Reese is out on an out lap. Ads has just started his time lapse. Same with Bourbon. Yeah, so both AlphaTauris have started their time lap. Sorry about that. Okay, I think we got it. There we go. I really need to get that piece fixed. I'm done having to plug this mic into a little port and all that stuff, but fortunately I had to wait till round 7 to get that done. Anyway, so Redfire just put that car, the Alpine 4th fastest with a 15.9. So those that are new to RPL F1 watching on streams, so we have 3 qualifying sessions, Q1, Q2, and Q3. If we have less than 15 drivers in qualifying, we then move on to short qualifying. And now another reason we could have a short qualifying session is if, like, let's say we have like 20 drivers racing, but 7 of them have quali bans, then we can go to short quali. No point of doing Q1, Q2, Q3 when we know basically 5 of the people in Q1 are going to be knocked out because they got bans, stuff like that. Anyways, so the AlphaTauris just put in their times. Ads 15.7 and a Bourbon 15.9. Not bad time for him. Will has just retired. Reese just puts in a bolstering lap, 14.3. That puts him on top by over 7/10. Stenner currently working on his time right now. We have Josh and Crispy out on the track for their out laps. Now, there is an event note in the section here. So turns 1 and 2. Oh, sorry. Turns 2 and 3. Well, 2, 3, and 4. Then 5 and 6. And then the chicane of 14 and 15. The drivers are not allowed to cut that corner during qualifying to get back to the pits quicker. If they are caught doing that, then they will receive 3 penalty points. Stenner comes across the line, and it is a 16-0, puts him 8th fastest, just slightly ahead of the Haas of Florian. Meanwhile, Crispy has just started his time lap. Crispy, he is a unique driver, I will admit. He's had moments, he's had good races, he's had races go south for him. But we'll have to see how well he does in regards to this event. Now, if you also look right in between the drivers' names and the teams that they are, it also shows what console they are on. You have a lot of people on Xbox. You have a couple people that are PC. Now, if any other people are wondering, yes, we do have PlayStation players in this league as well. However, you'll see at least a couple of them in F2 and Tier 2. Now, unfortunately, speaking of F2 did not happen earlier today, if you were all wondering. That was because the F1 Spa Sprint got delayed because of weather. Basically, Belgium decided to have a monsoon happen, and timing of when it'll start became very unpredictable. By the time it did get going, it was basically a bit too late to get it going. So, the decision was made by the admins to postpone F2 in Portimao to be pushed off. So, I believe most likely Portimao is going to be pushed down into being next week instead of whatever was supposed to be. But we'll figure that out there. But anyways, Crispy, by the way, 15-0, about 600ths of a second off on Jack, and he's currently the 3rd fastest of this group. And, well, was 3rd, but now DeChiller puts himself into 2nd fastest with a 14.9. He's the 2nd driver to enter the 14s. Now, I would not be surprised if at some point during the qualifying, probably Q2, maybe Q3, I would not be surprised if we see a time in the 13s. Reese is currently right now the closest with a 14.3. But like I said, I would not be surprised if we do see a 13 on the board. And Crispy, I think maybe could he have hindered Scyther right there? I don't know. But I think maybe Scyther used a little bit of the air to get his time through. And he comes across the line. And it is also a 14.9. So he's slightly faster than Chiller as of right now for Q1. But there's still 6/10 off of the Red Bull of Reese. Now, Pinarello is currently roaring off on his time lap right now. He's got a 16.8 right now for his best lap. And he did improve to a 16.4 flat. Unfortunately, he's still 16th. And right now, in the bottom 3. So, right now, we have 3 drivers in the bottom 3. We have Pinarello, AFJ, who's yet to come out, and Lewis Piper, who is yet to come out onto the track. Now, despite these 3 being at the bottom, 15th of George, 14th of Beatnik, and I'm going to say 12th and 13th of Fat Flo and Stenner. I don't think you guys are safe. don't think these guys are going to be safe. But anyways, here comes AFJ right now. And he's got Zakaria in front. So maybe the Aston Martin will help AFJ just a little bit. Perhaps. Who knows? But Lewis Piper has yet to come out onto the track to start his time lap. Darius has gone into the pits. He is done. He's all set with Q1. And let's see. I don't know how. And same with Reese. Now I don't know how. I'm not sure how much time is left in regards to Q1. There's about a minute 40 seconds left, and Lewis Piper has disconnected. So that is it for him, and Pinarello has called it. So Pinarello is going to be eliminated from Q1. Lewis Piper is going to be eliminated from Q1. Not sure why AFJ has decided to stop on the circuit, but anyways, looks like the battle is going to be between 14th, 15th, and probably 13th. That's probably what's going to be for the last spot to get into Q number 2, and George responds with 10 fastest, 15.8. AFJ just trundling along and slowing down if necessary to get forward. Now, some of these drivers are still off on out laps, so they're going to have to get to the line as soon as they can. There's only, I believe, 40 seconds, 35 seconds left to go. It looks like Gerard is going to be the last one to cross, so he'll be the last one to get going. Now, who is the first one to finish theirs? Well, it's not George. He's already got his lap going. He's already got his lap all set. He's up in 10th. So, looks like it's going to be Beatnik. Beatnik is going to be the first one all done to cross the line. So, let's see what's going to happen. So, we have Lewis Piper, Will, and Pinarello all gone out from Q1. But who will be the last one to join it? Beatnik comes across the line, and it's only 11 fastest. That puts Fanflo towards the edge of being eliminated. And he goes into the pits. He is all done. So Fanflo is going to have to hope AJ invalidates, so he will stay alive in it. That's not going to be the case as Stenner goes 9 fastest, AFJ goes to 6, and that knocks Fanflo out of qualifying. Red Fire, 8 fastest. And Gerard is in the 15th position, invalidated his time, but he is through. Gerard is through. So, both McLarens, one disconnected and could not get a time. The other had to suffer with a quali ban. A Williams, slowest of the group, and a Haas also out as well. So that is going to conclude Q1, and it is Reese on top, Scyther second, and a Chiller third. Okay, so here we are. We are loaded up into queue number 2 now. So as for queue number 2, here's how it works. So literally, the drivers from 11th to 15th will be eliminated out from the qualifying session. And the top 10 fastest will be moving on to Q3 to fight for pole. So let's take a look. Let's see. Well, we got Connor Knight, Red Raider, Beatnik making his comments. 7 viewers watching our event. So, well, those watching our streams, thank you for taking part. If you haven't followed the RPL Twitch channel, feel free to do so. Also, if you have some time as well, head over to our RPL YouTube channel. Just type in RPL_XB1. Feel free to subscribe. You'll be able to rewatch our past streams from F1, F2, and Tier 2. You get to see all the fun, spicy action of our past seasons, as well as some crazy fun antics. Anyways, looks like Bourbon is going to be the first one out for the Q2 group. So, those watching in the stream, feel free to type it in the chat. Who do you think is going to be the 5 eliminated from Q2? And heck, if you wanna, also feel free to put out, who do you think will be the fastest top 3 in Q2? And you know what? I'm actually gonna make my predictions now. So fastest for Q2. In no particular order, I'm going to say it is going to be Reese, Scyther, and between Jack and DeChiller just barely. I say the gap between DeChiller and Jack is going to be under 0.08 of a second. That's how tight it will be between the two. As who I think is going to be the slowest and knocked out, no offense to him, but I think George is going to be knocked out. Same, no offense to him, but also Gerard, I think he'll be knocked out. Red Fire, I think he might get knocked out. I'm also going to say Ads and Stenner. That's who I think is going to be. Those 5 is who I think is going to be knocked out. I mean, it's going to be close, but I'm guessing that's what it is. But anyways, well, unfortunately, Bourbon just eliminated his lap, so he is out. So he's going to have to go for another run and try again. This time, Stenner is going to be the benchmark. And check out the car number he's got, 99. Used to be Antonio Giovinazzi. Let's see how well Stenner does as he comes across the line. There's a 15.6 to kick things off. Next up is Crispy, followed up by, I believe that's Zakaria. Nope, it's Beatnik, but Crispy fastest, 15.1. The Chiller 15.3, and Beatnik with a 15.7. Next up, Gerard, 15.9. Here comes Zakaria now, 15.1. Good God. Zakaria's on crack, I think. Scyther, 14.2. AFJ, 14.8. Josh, 14.8. Mercedes, only separated by under 0.02 of a second between the two of those two. Scyther currently on top. The Red Bulls have yet to come out. Red Fire is currently on his run. Bourbon is trying again. Let's see. Let's go on to Bourbon. Nope, he's invalidated again. So Bourbon, I think some sections of the track is really biting. Really going to be biting him. I mean, let's be honest. There is 3 corners I know that I think you could easily see some invalidations. I mean, if you take it a little bit too wide, turn 15, where Red Fire just came out from, that's one. The the downhill corners. That's another area where you'll see quite a bit of invalidations. And I also think turn 6, which is where Reese is going right now on the map, that is also another area where you'll find invalidations too. So like I said, the last corner before the Sector 1 cutoff, that's one section where you can see track limits, penalties, and invalidated lap times. Right here is where you'll see more of it in Sector 2. And then as you start Sector 3, as we're on board with Reese, if you take the corner just slightly wide right here, you'll also wind up seeing some invalidation and track limit warnings and penalties. Those are the 3 areas mainly that you'll see quite a bit of it so far. Now, I'm not sure where Bourbon had his invalidations, but those are definitely areas you should be watching out for. But Reese is just firing off and starting his time lap. Let's get on board, pull up our telemetry. Let's go on board with him as he's rocketing down that main straight, getting close to 210 miles an hour into the turn 2 and 3 braking zone, firing up on the throttle, out of 4, working his way up the gears, gets up to high 7th gear, drops it down to 4 and a 6, there it goes into the sharp corner of 7, nice and easy into 3rd gear, getting up and going up the gears again as they head uphill, out into 10, into turn 9, into turn 8, 9. Now here we go for 10, 11, and 12 and 13. Now just slightly up the hill again. Here we go into the chicane. This can get kind of tight. Just watching that movement over the curbs, keeping it cool, keeping it in control. Reese thundering down the hill into the penultimate corner and the final corner to finish off his lap. Where will he go? 14.277 to beat, and he comes across the line. It is a 14.209. That puts him fastest on the board at this moment. So we still yet to see a lap in the 13s, but given how close these guys are getting, it is not unlikely you will see a time get into the 13s. Here we go, into the chicane now for Jack. That game it's kind of glitchy. It'll say there's purple sectors for everybody, but let's see what Jack's got as he comes around the last couple of corners. Now he's got to be his teammates, 14.209, as he comes across the line. I think something must have happened. I think maybe something must have happened during his lap. Jack, 14.906. That puts him 5th fastest, right behind the Mercedes pair. Now, just out of curiosity, I wonder what the weather is going to be like what's the weather like for the event? Is it looking clear, or is it going to be wet? What do we got? All dry, all right. And it looks like Bourbon just suffered another invalidation. Oh my goodness, Bourbon is just not having good luck keeping his car in the track limits. That's for certain. So Bourbon is gonna have to try again to get his lap in. This is basically attempt number 4 to get a lap in. Ads is also trying again because he made a mistake somewhere in his lap, hence why he has a near 1 minute 30. But anyways, Beatnik wound up slightly improving to 10th fastest right now. So currently our slowest 5, it's the Alpha Tauris of Bourbon and Ads, the Williams of George, the Haas of Gerard, and the Alfa Romeo of Stenner. And looks like Josh has gone into the pits. He is done with Q2. He feels he's done more than enough to get himself into Q3. He is P4, so I mean, unless these guys have nitrous in their engines, I don't think Josh will have an issue. And Bourbon invalidates again. I'm gonna say that's turn 12 and 13, or was the chicane that he invalidated? But Bourbon is not having a good time. He's not getting a lap in, and all these lap times deleted is just killing his tires. Now, Az, by the way, did successfully get a better lap in. Unfortunately, it is 12th fastest right now. So Az is gonna be returning back to the pits to reset and get himself some new tires to get back on to get it going again. I think right where the chiller went off, that is an area I think that's probably where Bourbon is being smacked around by these track limit invalidations. Is right there, turn 12 and 13. I think that's where he's getting it. Okay, yeah, so dry all the way. Also resetting in. He said there's a chance of rain 10 to 15 minutes from now, so a possibility of rain right at the end of Q3, possibly. But also for the race, it's dry with a slight chance of rain to appear. Thank you for the additional information, Reese. Definitely well needed. And speaking of Reese, he did retire, so he is fastest on the board, so he's definitely through into Q3. Now, looking at the times of the drivers that are basically right now on the cusp, Beatnik and Red Fire, I think you guys are in the bubble. The chiller is improving, so he'll get himself into the 14-8. So he's good. I mean, Zakaria and Crispy, they have a nice little buffer, so I mean they could. I mean, it's just up to what they want to do, or if they'll be safe or not. And the chiller just invalidated, so he's gonna have to try again. And the chiller 8th fastest, so he's gonna have to try again. He's gonna have one shot to get it done. Alright, so with just about 2 minutes left in Q2. Bourbon's still yet to get a time. George is currently the slowest with a 16 1. As Jack just went right by, he is also on an out lap. So, let's see if Bourbon can at least try to stay in the track limits as he heads down into turns 5 and 6 now. Looks okay. Here he goes, heading into 7. Makes it out there. Now into 8. Now into 9 and 10. Goes wide. And unfortunately backs off. So because he went wide, he had to abandon the lap and try again. George. He's loaned to Williams via Red Bull. And Red Bull gives him a help into turn 1. George currently the slowest on the field right now. Scyther currently on his time, just starting his time lap. It's final one. We have more getting theirs in. We have Gerard. Az is just across the line to start his. Red Fire's just about to start his. Darius is coming into turn 11 right now. Did I see that right? Yeah, 30 seconds. So Darius is going to have to... I don't think Darius is going to make it. Gerard's going to have to put the power down. Because he's looking at not making it either. 15 seconds. looks like the Chiller is not gonna make it. Bad timing. The Chiller didn't make it in time. He's out. And George finishes 12th. That's not good. So George is out. Gerard has invalidated, so he is out. Who's next? Who's next across the line? Well, Beatnik couldn't finish it. Red Fire is not gaining ground. Stenner is invalidated, so he's out. Ads goes to 9th. That puts Red Fire at risk of out. So Stenner, George, and Gerard are out. Red Fire is definitely out. Now comes Bourbon. He comes across the line and is 7th fastest. Beatnik eliminated from Q2 by 0.05 of a second. Well, looking at my five choices that I had for eliminations from Q2, I had 4 out of 5. I had Red Fire, Stenner, Gerard, and George correct. The 5th one I didn't get was Ads, but it's Beatnik that's eliminated instead. So Beatnik is out, and also 2 for 3 in my top 3. The Chiller didn't barely beat Jack. Jack got him by 0.4. AFJ is 3rd. But Reese and Scyther did make the top 2 as I predicted. So, Haas is out, Williams out, Alfa Romeo out, one Alpine and 1 Aston Martin out. So we have both Ferraris, both Red Bulls, both Mercedes. And then we have 1 Aston, 1 Alpine, 1 and right, let me just make sure. Yeah, so both Red Bulls, both Ferraris, both Mercs, both Alpha Tauris, and then it is a Aston and Alpine to finish off the top 10. So that's the end of Q2 with Reese on top, Scyther 2nd, and AFJ 3rd. Now we'll be moving on into Q3 and see which one of these 10 drivers is claiming pole position.
Greater Imola area has a rich motorsport heritage with some of the finest Italian race car manufacturers calling the region their own. This includes the likes of Ferrari, Lamborghini, Maserati and Minardi, who if you don't know are now known as Alfa Tauri. The last time an Italian won on this track was back in 1990 when Riccardo Patrese secured P1 in his Williams during the San Marino Grand Prix. It's not just F1 cars that make use of the Italian circuit, as there is several events that are being hosted here. The World Touring Car Championship.
Alright, so here we go for Q3. And it is going to be the Red Bull of Jack coming out first. This will be interesting to at least to see where Jack is. Now this is interesting. I rarely see Red Bulls out in front in regards to qualifying. So it'll be interesting to see how Jack will be leading off this front group, and everybody is out on track. Looks like the last one. Okay, it is AFJ. He's the last one. That is because literally we have rain inbound right towards the end or mid of Q3. So anything is possible here. So we'll have to wait and see what is going to happen. I think these guys are just going to get their laps in before the rain shows up. Be interesting to see which one of these drivers, see how these guys do. We're going to try to get their laps in. Let's go on board with Jack. Get our telemetry up. I believe he was probably right around Reese's pace, about near 210 into there. Hold on a second. We may be losing connection because I do not have connection on my laptop, so I think I might be knocked out. Oh, maybe not. Okay, never mind. I guess it was just being stupid. Who knows? So yeah, just bear with us on this. Josh goes fastest, 14.5. Side response, 14.1. Here we go. So Jack, 14.9. Bourbon, 15.6. Josh, 14.5. DeChiller, 14.6. Crispy, 14.9. Same with Zakaria. I mean, literally, look at the difference between Zakaria and Jack. 3 milliseconds separate them. Ads is trying again. Ads is off on the track. See what happens there. Just bear with us just a second. Okay, sorry about that. We were just having some minor difficulties with Twitch on our end. But the rain is just hitting, and this may not be good because MJ just got his time, and it is a 15.6. That isn't good. Ads is gonna have to try to get a lap in, and Reese has just come out, and I think it might be just a little too late. So here we go. So rain has come in. I think it This is just getting a bit too wet for the drivers. This is gonna be interesting because I don't think Reese is gonna be able to get a good accurate time because of that rain. And yeah, Az has gone in, he's out. So I think unfortunate bad timing for Reese. So I think Reese may be stuck having to start in 10th. And just looking at this group, I mean, literally we're looking at this. I think it is going to be this. It's Scyther pole, Josh second, and DeChiller third. Unless Reese pulls something out of his head and does a decent lap. Let's see as he comes across the line. And it's only 7th fastest. 15.4. I think that rain just went like... And I just want to sing it. Scyther just said he's coming out on slicks and drift for the stream. So I think Scyther's just gonna have some fun. But anyways. So here we go. Let's see what these guys are gonna do. As they are just having a little bit of fun. Yeah, Reese. I mean, I feel sorry for Reese. Just bad timing has just bit him in the butt. So Reese is gonna have to start in the 7th place position, unfortunately. So I'm gonna be honest. I mean, except for quali bands, I don't remember the last time Reese had a finish, like a Q3 finish lower than 5th, other than quali bands. I mean, Reese, if you're listening, can you provide that stat for me? Other than quali bands, what was your worst qualifying position? Like the last time you ever had one? Because I don't remember it. But that's just super unfortunate for Reese there. But anyways. But yeah, Scyther and Crispy just having some fun. With 2.5 minutes to go. But anyways, I mean literally they're not going to be going any faster than what they are. So here's what you're looking at. So row 1, it is Scyther and Josh. Row 2 is DeChiller and Crispy. Zakaria and Jack make up row 3. Reese and Bourbon, row 4. And AFJ and Ads making up row 5. Ads was unable to set a lap, and AFJ was the slowest of the group. Anyways, but yeah, that is the end of that. So, yeah, qualifying is pretty much all but done. But I think it's kind of crazy that now, I mean, let's be honest, Reese 15.4, it was because he came out too little too late. That's why he's that slow. But I think it's wild that Zakaria 3 milliseconds faster than Jack. That's a little whack. That's kind of a little whack, to be honest. Zakaria is just slightly smidgen faster than Jack. I might tease him for that. Just because I'm one that's a little fun. Anyways, but yeah, Scyther's just having some fun. Same with Crispy, and I think Reese has decided he wants to join the fun too. I think Reese is just having himself a little bit of fun to finish off with qualifying. But so yeah, I mean these guys are just having some fun just to kill some time. But anyways, so yeah, so once these three are all set, we'll be all good to go and roaring for the race. Anyways, Reese comes across to finish his, and we just wait for Crispy and Scyther, and we're all done. Scyther pole position and a, well, dry to wet Q3 from Imola. So there it is. So all we're just waiting on is just Scyther, and we are good to go. So Ferrari 1 and 3. He just darts off. But yeah, so anyways, so Ferrari 1 and 3, Mercedes 2 and 9, and Red Bull 6 and 7. I'll just be honest, the big three having some wild position placements after that Q3 session. And Crispy just said, I may have peaked. Time to finish P17. Well, don't jinx it. That's all I gotta say. Don't jinx it. If you jinx it, then you are gonna finish P17. I close the stem so he can't kill me. Okay. I guess Crispy and Stunner must have had an altercation last week, probably. I think we just had some fun with the Jack. Zakaria's pinging Jack, just giving me a little chuckle, and Jack just goes, "Be careful with your next words." I mean, it's just fun banter between the guys. But anyway, so we got our top 10. So here's the rest of the field. So Beatnik and Redfire make up this row 6. Then Stenner, George, row 7. Gerard and Fanflo, it's a Haas, row 8. Then Pinarello and, well, the AI of Piper, that is row number 9. And then Will to finish it off in row 10. Now we don't have a timer, just like we had in the last game, unfortunately, so we don't know when the thing ends, so people will get started. But we'll be getting going any second now. I hope. Alright, so we're just gonna be waiting on the people to get things going. Now we do have a 20th member. We have Owen on the field. He is in the other Alfa Romeo. I mean, I just had to make it official. so he won't get disqualified. But yeah, it's because Musty completely forgot he was reserving, so he didn't show. Yeah, let's hope Owen does pretty decent. Fingers crossed. B-Nick just said plus 1.5 in case of no safety cars for fuel. Beatnik, hate to say it, it's RPL. There is going to be safety car. But anyways, 5 lights come on to start the Imola GP of RPL. And it's lights out and away we go. Fantastic reaction by Scyther and a good start by the Chiller. I think Josh got bogged down as they head off into turn number 1. And look at the back as, oh boy, crispy. Oh boy, there goes Josh having to go wide and goes for a spin after getting onto the gravel after a little contact with Crispy. Holy Jesus! We got a massive explosion behind us. Holy Jesus! Literally, we just saw Josh spinning out and then a mega explosion here. I mean, literally, Pinarello first spun out. Will crashed out. Reese as well. Heavy damage and also penalized for a collision with Pinarello. I don't know if Beatnik's involved. No, Beatnik looks like he's okay. Look at some of the other drivers. George is good. My goodness, what the heck happened? But, I mean, Owen just rocketed off into... from 20th to 12th from that one. My goodness, what the heck just happened? I mean, we just saw a lot of wildness and just devastation, to say the least. Gerard in drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. We're backing away. Jack, by the way, just fell to 10th. But first lap is done. It is Scyther, Chiller, Crispy, Zakaria, Redfire, Bourbon, Ads, AFJ, Stenner, and Jack. As Zakaria just slingshots his way past Crispy, gets himself into 3rd place. Aston Martin up into the podium place. Here goes Redfire right behind. Gets past Crispy, and he's up in the 4th place. Bourbon clears AFJ to get into 6th. And here's Az fighting off Stenner, and Redfire slingshots his way into try to get himself into 3rd, but Zakaria holds his ground, keeps him back. Yeah, good God, 1 opening lap and a half, and I'm already starting to get my words screwed up. Anyway, slightly further back, we have Stenner in pursuit of Az for the 8th place spot. Bourbon chasing down the Alpine as well. Here comes AFJ as well. And Bourbon slingshots into the chicane and gets ahead of Crispy and is up into 5th. Jack having to settle currently in the 10th place spot. Reese, unfortunately, all the way down to 19th and currently in turn 7. Hello, AFJ! Well, that was on AFJ right there. AJ slings a slingshot and Bourbon forced wide and off into the gravel, and now Bourbon off into the pits. And AJ goes for a spin. Goodness, that is both Mercedes having problems. And Fanflow, by the way, up into 9th place. Owen in the 10th. Alpine's is heading off into 4th and 5th. Stenner right behind in 6th place. There comes Jack right with Fanflow. And oh boy, there goes Ads for a spin. Was there contact between Fanflow and Ads? But Ads goes spinning and falls down into 16th. We're on board with Jack as he's watching the battle between Stenner and Crispy. Stenner and Crispy, these two are fighting like rabid animals for the 5th place position. And Stenner, little wheel-to-wheel contact, and Stenner gets himself into the 5th place position. Crispy, a little slip out of the chicane, but keeps it together. Meanwhile, Redfire in pursuit of Zakaria for the 3rd place spot. Further back, we have Pinarello versus AFJ, and Jack just cleared just cleared Crispy in the 6th. And Crispy was in 4th. Now is subject to getting himself into trouble to lose 7th place to Fanflow. As Zakaria did successfully lose the 3rd place to Red Fire. Red Fire into 3rd, but currently almost 2 seconds behind the Ferrari pair. While Fanflow looked to sneak a peek on Crispy, but decided not to. Josh getting past Owen to get back up into 9th. And Pinarello, first of the drivers to get into the penalty box. Reese has just set the fastest lap, but unfortunately Reese is all the way in 18th place. That is not good for Reese. I mean, Reese was caught up in that massive explosion out of turn 4. So that was just unfortunate for him. I mean, we had Josh go spinning in turn 3. Then AJ send in a dive bomb shot on Bourbon, sent them both into no points land. Now look at some of the battles up closer. We have Jack in pursuit of Stenner. Now this is going to be an easy overtake for him. And Stenner is down into 6th, Jack up to 5th, and Fanflow clears Crispy to get into 7th. Well, just slightly further back, George and Owen. These two, this is literally for 10th right now, the last point of this group, and he does have a mini DRS train, Owen has. He's got George, Beatnik, and AFJ with him. And let's get back to this. Look at this. Side by side between Zakaria and Red Fire. Zakaria slingshotting back into 3rd. But the funniest thing is that the more these two battle, the bigger of a lead the Ferrari pair will get. You can see as they head into the chicane, Scyther leading with DeChiller right in tow. DeChiller is still within the 1 second mark. Let's take a look at the tires everybody is on. Now, not including the ones that have stopped. Okay, so we have Pinarello and Red Fire on the soft compound tire. Then there's Lewis Piper, George, Owen, Josh, Florian, and Jack on the mediums as Red Fire is coming in. And everybody else is on the hard compound tires. Now, taking a look at everybody's positions as we go forward, as, Crispy just got 6th place back from Florian. But just looking at the biggest movers and shakers, Owen and Fanflow are currently the biggest movers. 10 places gained for Owen, 9 for Florian. And unfortunately, the two biggest losers, it's Bourbon losing 9 positions and Reese losing 11. Like I said, that was because Reese was involved in that mega explosion in that in lap 1, as Fanflow just went wide. That's going to leave him vulnerable to Josh, and Josh says, thank you very much for that mistake. I will take that 8th place from you. And Fanflow just struggling in those corners. I'm thinking the grip or the pressures might be a little bit too high, and Fanflow is just struggling for grip. Unfortunately, that's going to leave Fanflow with being involved in a mega DRS train with Crispy at the head. Let's go on board with Josh as he is the 2nd person behind. Let's see where he goes. He's going inside, pinches his way in between Crispy in the wall, and gets himself into 6th place. And George, oh boy, there was contact between George and Florian, and George goes spinning out of 9th. I mean, from that view, when we just caught it, I'm going to safely say that is going to be on Florian for that. I think that is going to be on Florian for that one. I mean, unless Florian can safely say, well, George wasn't close enough to me. I don't think he would have made that attack. He should have made that attack. I mean, that's just up to the stewards, and the stewards have noted that incident between Florian and George. So we're currently on lap number 6 of 32 here in RPL F1. Well, just crossing into lap number 7 now. But we had a VSC on the opening lap for a major blow up between Will, Pinarello, Gerard, Reese. Then we had some contact with cars going spinning. We had AFJ go spinning. We had Josh go spinning. Bourbon go spinning. We had quite a lot of spins going on, to say the least. But meanwhile, so currently it is a Ferrari 1-2 between Scyther and the Chiller. Zakaria is sitting comfortably in the third place spot, but the question is how much longer will he hold it? Because sneaking into his rear view, here comes Jack. Now Jack is going to be like a shark smelling blood, because he will want to get as many points as possible to basically circumvent the damage to Red Bull. Because Jack is in 4th, and Reese, unfortunately, being involved in that major explosion, unfortunately, is sitting in 16th. So Jack is now eyeballing Zakaria to go for a podium spot. Here he goes on the outside and gets clear. Jack up into 3rd, but almost 4.4 seconds separate him and the 2nd place driver of Darius. Meanwhile, Beatnik clearing Fanflo to get himself into 9th place. Fanflo's going to have to settle for 10th at the moment. Now, Fanflo could be subject to a penalty because of that collision with George, which, I mean, from our angle, I think Fanflo could be in trouble unless Fanflo provides an adequate defense to justify the incident. Meanwhile, Josh, as he is chasing down Stenner for the 5th place spot. Now, Josh was involved in the first lap spin out, where he was forced off in turn number 2. He wound up going into the gravel in turn 2. Not sure if he was forced off by Crispy or not. But when he got back onto the track, he got too hard on the throttle and spun himself out. And then, his partner right behind, AFJ, who's chasing Crispy down for 7th. AFJ could be facing some trouble himself because of the dive bomb attack that he did to Bourbon, which resulted in Bourbon going wide. But for right now, AFJ is up into 7th against Crispy. Now, a couple more drivers just got themselves into the penalty club. We had Adskin in there, who is 12th, and Owens got 2. A 3-second for track limits, and then another 3-second for cutting the corner. I'm not sure which corner it was, but if I had to safely guess, it's probably the chicane at turns 14 and 15. Well, let's follow on with Josh as he is trying to reel the Alfa Romeo Stenner for the 5th place position. Have to wait and see what Stenner is going to be capable of as he makes his way forward. And, well, Crispy just got himself into the penalty club. I believe probably going wide out of 15. So, Crispy, the first driver in the top 10 to get one. I mean, I definitely said it. Turn 15, you'll see track limit warnings and penalties. Turns 12 and 13, you'll see it. I mean, literally, we've seen it there. It's AFJ, Josh clears Stenner and gets himself into 5th place. Now he's got some work to do. He's got 3.6 seconds to chase down 4th place of Zakaria. Zakaria's actually been doing pretty decent this race so far. He's kept it cool, hanging out in the top 3. Oh, you good God's sake, that was very close. That was very close. Zakaria gets on the power in the on the curb and nearly dumped it out of 7. That would have been disastrous for him. But what a nice save. But meanwhile, look, Jesus. I think is Jack's car got nitrous in this car, because he was over almost 4 seconds behind the chiller. Like 3 laps ago. Now he's caught right up to him. This is going to be a battle for second coming up between Jack and Darius, to say the least. Well, we'll get to that, but I think we're going to see that fight very shortly. But anyways, Jack is on the medium compound tires, so he's on the softer compound than Darius is. Now, Darius is going to be going longer on this stint. Now, the thing is, his teammate Scyther is also on the hard compound tires as well. Let's see what Darius can do. Can he provide a strong defense to keep Jack back? I think he's decided, I'm actually going to hold off on the fight for now. I think it's wise, because now Jack will not have the courtesy of DRS, but Darius will. So Darius, I think Jack is going to be Jack's going to have to anticipate a fight going into turn 2. DRS open, overtake wide open. As Darius slingshots past and back up into second place. And by the way, Josh has gone into the pits. Josh is in the first of the medium tires to come off. I wonder where Josh will come out when this is done. Looks like he's going to come out probably just behind Red Fire in 14th place. Now, Josh was in 5th a little bit ago, but now has to settle for 14th right now. But it is the first of the medium tires to pit, so that is going to be a cue to the other medium tire runners. What will they do? Will they follow suit, or will they not? And AFJ just gets himself a 3-second penalty, this time in turn 12. Exiting turn 11 and into 12. So AFJ into the penalty box for the first time in this race. Let's take a look at the drivers. Let's see which ones are on there. Yeah, so currently the rest of the top 10 that are on the mediums that haven't pitted yet is Florian, Owen, and Jack. Those guys are on the mediums to go into there, and Jack just cleared Darius to get himself into second. But now Jack, 5 seconds between him and Scyther to try to reel it in. Like I said, with Josh going in a little bit on the early side on those for the mediums, that's probably going to mean, when will Jack come in? When is Jack going to plan to come in? Now, if I'm probably going to be safely guessing, if Jack is doing the average drive for his tire wear, I'm probably going to say within the next 3 to 5 laps he'll probably be coming in. But I'm thinking he may go long. I'm thinking he may do what the Ferraris may do. It's possible the Ferraris will go long. Are going to go quite long on the mediums, on the hards. Actually, as I was saying that, Jack is in. So Jack is going to come off of those medium compounds and onto the hards. Let's see where he will fall as it happens. Meanwhile, AFJ clears Stenner for 4th place right now. Zakaria is back in the 3rd. And Ads is now in the penalty box too. And Jack is going to come out. Is he going to come out ahead of Ads in them? Yes, he is, as Red Fire clears Ads. And Jack is going to be in the 10th place spot with Red Fire right behind. And Owen now getting his 3rd penalty of the session. That puts him at 9 for right now. So, pretty much with the exception of Owen and Florian, those guys, Florian and Owen are on the medium compound. Everybody in the top 7 are on the hard tires. So we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen with these drivers as they move forward. So let's see what happens. Now, we're probably going to anticipate the hard tire runners coming in later on. So probably a bit later on, we're going to see the hard tire drivers come into the pits. As Florian has come in. So he's come in from the 8th place spot. So let's take a look at the drivers as they sit. So right now, I mean, the pit lane is slightly longer and slightly slower. So you're looking at about 25 seconds of loss going into the pits. So Scyther, if he pitted right now, he will come out in the 7th place spot ahead of Owen and Jack. Because Jack was about 4.5 seconds behind Scyther before he came in the pit. And now he's almost 32 seconds behind as of right now. But Scyther playing it nice and slow, easy there. Anyways, Jack clears Owen to get himself into the 8th position. Now that's definitely Owen playing it nice for the co-TP of Red Bull Academy. As Florian has got himself into the penalty box for track limits. And where he was on the map, that is in turns 12 and 13. So another driver falls victim to that corner. Meanwhile, Stenner chasing down AFJ. This is for the 4th place position. Now, AFJ does have a penalty on him for exceeding track limits in turn 11. Now, Gerard has just got himself another one. Well, this is not good for Gerard because he just got 2 3-second track limit penalties. And unfortunately, I wound up having to do a drive-through as well for speeding under the VSC. So Gerard not having fun. Let's see, let's go a little bit further back. Let's go on board with Ads as he's trying to chase down Red Fire. Now this is for the 11th place position between these two. I think it'd be nice to try to cover everybody on this field. We're just watching Ads here, and looks like Stenner and AFJ have both decided to come in. And Bourbon, another victim to turn 12 and 13. A 3-second penalty for him. It looks like Ads has decided, no, I'm just gonna hold off and go for a pit. And looks like Ads has gone in and has retired. Wow. That's really unusual. I mean, Ads was doing pretty decent in this session, but now he's out. I mean, very, very unfortunate for Ads. I mean, he was close to the points, but unfortunately, he's gonna have to settle to being the 2nd driver out of RPL F1 in Imola. So super unfortunate for Ads. Meanwhile, Owen was trying to chase Josh for the 7th place spot. Gets a little loose out of 12, but keeps it together. Redfire is in pursuit of him in the 9th place spot. And look who's back in the points. Reese. Reese has returned back to the points. AFJ, another track limit penalty, but this time in the chicane at turns 14 and 15. Reese was involved in that first lap destruction, and he has gone back into the pits, so he is going to finish it off. Probably on the hard tires, because I believe he did start in the hards, didn't he? He did, and Scyther is in the penalty box! So it looks like 12 and 13 is getting everybody, including some of the top drivers. I mean, literally, AFJ's got it, now one of the Ferraris has one. I mean, literally, it's going to be eventuality. What will happen to one of the Red Bulls? And let's take a look at the leaderboards here. And Scyther has come into the pits. I wonder... It looks like, the Chiller is coming in. So it looks like we're looking at close to a Ferrari double stack, possibly. Scyther is out quickly. And not much delay between the Chiller and Scyther. So Scyther is gonna come out. There's Crispy. Here comes Jack. And looks like Scyther is gonna miss Jack. And we have a safety car. Owen has crashed on the final corner. Well, very interesting, but yeah, so a safety car deployed for Owen because Owen has crashed. So Redfire, Florian head into the pits. Zakaria, this is gonna for Zakaria and Crispy. This opens up an opportunity for them to get an easy free pit stop. Zakaria is leading this field. I'll just have to wait and see what happens. But anyways, here comes Zakaria now as he goes into the pits. And we're just now Crispy having a slow because of the Delta. There goes Crispy into the pits, sliding it, but keeps it in control. And same with Jack. So Jack has decided, I mean, yeah, he was on the medium, on the hard, but he's like, no, I need to get off this now. And Beatnik is in as well. So as everybody files into place with their positionings, and here we go. So looking at it now, so Scyther has reclaimed the lead. Zakaria in second, and the Chiller in third. AFJ will settle for is currently in fourth. We have Stenner in fifth, Crispy in sixth. Jack is out on the track. He is in seventh. Beatnik in eighth. Josh 9 and Bourbon in 10th place. And then the rest of the field, it is Redfire in 11th, Reese 12th, Florian in 13th, Pinarello 14th, Groggers in 15th, and Gerard in 16th. You know that Lewis Piper is in 15th and McLaren, but he's disconnected AI. He doesn't count. But let's take a look at all the penalties that everybody's got. So Scyther, Crispy, Bourbon, Florian, and Pinarello all have 3 seconds. AFJ and Gerard have 6. And apparently the reason Owen has crashed is because AFJ collected into him. It looks like Pats is Beatnik and Bourbon are back in. Interesting. Inters? Inters? Oh, is the rain gonna be showing up towards the end? Oh boy. Oh boy, this is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be very interesting indeed. Yeah, this is going to be quite interesting to say the least. So I think some of the drivers are anticipating the rain to show up. So Beatnik and Bourbon are just taking a wild shot in the dark. So they're thinking the rain will show up. But yeah, safety car is in. Let's go on board with Zakaria. Let's see how Zakaria responds to Scyther's takeoff. Let's see when he'll go. And we're off and away. Good response from Zakaria. And we're back and away in Imola. And it looks like Red Fire is fighting Josh for the 8th place. As they head into turn number 2, let's get a little further back as cars are flumbering into position. Florian gets past Reese for 10th. And Stenner is having some issues. Stenner having trouble losing positions. Jack up in the 6th, Red Fire in 7th, and Josh in the 9th. Crispy up in the 5th, AFJ in the 4th. The Chiller trying to figure out a way to get past Zakaria. He wants to get past Zakaria. Wants to help his teammate out. His teammate's got a 3-second penalty. He wants to help out his teammate, and Zakaria's gone off. I was wondering, did he lead the... He did go off in turn 13. And let's see if he can try again as he tries to go for a shot down the inside. No, he doesn't. He's going to wait it out. No sign of the rain yet, but apparently rain is incoming. But anyways, there goes the Chiller, clearing past Zakaria and up in the 2nd. AFJ looking to try to follow. But the Chiller gets ahead, and Zakaria puts the walls out on AFJ and stays in there. Little contact wheel to wheel between the two Mercedes Academy drivers, and Zakaria still stays ahead as they end up turn 7. Josh is starting to get a little frustrated. I think might be getting a little frustrated being held up by Zakaria. Zakaria still hanging on into that 3rd place position. I think the reason Zakaria's holding him back is going like, hey, I know you want to get by, but you have a crap ton of penalties. I don't have any. So let me have my moment. Here comes Crispy now on the outside of AFJ. Heads into the chicane. Little contact, little bumping, and AFJ goes super wide. So does Crispy. My goodness. And Jack says, thank you very much. I'll take advantage of year 2 squabbling, and I will move up into 5th place. But the clouds are coming in, which means the rain is going to be imminent pretty soon. But the question is how long will it take before the track gets too wet? Beatnik and Bourbon, the only two drivers on the Inters, they're sitting 15th and 16th, quite a ways back from the leader. 14.7 and 16.8. Well, let's go a little bit further back. AFJ under pressure from the Alpine of Red Fire. So AFJ's got one Alpine in front of him, one Alpine behind him, and the Alpine of Red Fire has the Red Bull of Reese right behind. I mean, Reese is on a recovery drive, to say the least, try to mitigate the damage done from earlier in the event, and I think I just saw some raindrops. It's tricky to tell, but I thought I saw raindrops in Sector 2. Yep, there it is. The rain is here. The rain has appeared for now, and once Scyther crosses the line, we'll be on lap 25 of 32. There's going to be 7 laps left of racing, and Crispy and Josh are still going at it again, and Red Fire takes advantage of both of them and gets it. Oh, we got a crash! Heavy crash! Between AFJ and Crispy, there was lag between the two, and AFJ has retired on the track. He's done from that collision, and same with Crispy. And that is a safety car. That is a safety car because of it. We saw when we were on board with Red Fire, he lagged in front of both the Merc and the Alp and his teammate, and then there was just carnage right behind, and now a safety car is in effect, and this is gonna open the door for everybody, because now with the rain in effect, this means Inters will be most likely the chance to go. So it is Scyther leading, to Chiller second, Jack third, Zakaria 4, Josh 5, Red Fire 6, Reese 7, Center 8, Pinarello in 9th, by the way, and George in 10th. And the drivers are coming in. The Ferraris are in. Everyone is gonna come in for the intermediate tires. Wait, Pinarello's not going. Pinarello is staying out. Okay. Well, this is interesting. Pinarello has opted to stay out, and Beatnik is up in the second between the Ferraris. Well, this is interesting. So now with everybody on the Inters... Oh, wait. Wait a second. Well, Pinarello stayed out. He's on the mediums. Scyther's opted for softs. This is unusual. Is Scyther taking a gamble? Scyther must be taking a gamble. Scyther must be taking a gamble, I think. But Beatnik, he's just smelling the dollar signs. He's like, yeah, I see an opportunity to go to finish this and go for a win. And Jack, I feel sorry for. Look who he's got in front. He's got the AI of Piper. That is not what... I don't think that's what Jack wants. I don't think he wants to be stuck behind... I don't think he wants to be stuck behind, behind those guys. And wait a minute. These guys on the Inters have actually gone like, nah, Looks like Josh, George... It looks like these guys have just changed their minds. They're like, yeah, maybe this isn't a good idea. Well, this is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to say the least. I mean, literally, we have a Williams leading a Grand Prix right now. We have Scyther right behind. Beatnik is third. The Chiller's 4. The AI, Piper is 5th, but technically Jack is 5th. Zakaria 6. Stenner 7. Reese 8. Florian 9. And Gerard is in 10th place right now. And then it is Josh 11th, Redfire 12, George 13, and Bourbon in 14th. This is gonna be interesting. But the question is when is the safety car going in? I mean, those guys waiting to catch up. I don't know if the safety car is coming in this time or they'll have to go an extra lap. Looks like the safety car is going to go an extra lap. Okay, so safety car going one extra lap. So the cars behind of George, Bourbon, and Redfire can catch back up. And now Josh is back in again. This time going back to the inters. And same with Gerard and Bourbon. They're like, nope, maybe I should have relented back to what I was doing before. But these guys are just switching all over the place. They can't decide. Do they want to go with the inters? Do they not want to go with the inters? They don't even know which one's the right choice. I mean, literally, here are the tires as it is right now. Pinarello on the mediums, Scyther on the sauce, the AI of Lewis Piper on the hards. Everyone else is on the intermediate tires. So this is gonna be interesting to say the least. Now these guys are gonna have to get back with the field as soon as they can, because I mean safety cars should be coming in this time. Now I haven't seen the DRS disable come up yet, and the safety car is coming in. So we're on board with Scyther. Let's see how he reacts with Pinarello's restart. So, I haven't seen the DRS disable come up on my screen yet. So that means, I mean, literally we're looking at a crossover between these two, between the dries and the inters. But we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen. But literally, we have just 3 laps of racing to do. Scyther has to get by Pinarello and just hope for to gain a 3-second lead over the guys behind. We're backing away. Pinarello leads the charge down into turns 1 and 2. And Beatnik following up behind, and looks like Zakaria just slingshotted past the AI of Jag. Whoa, boy! Reese slingshots his way up into 5th, but Zakaria's like, no way, I'm taking this now. Beatnik up into 2nd, and wait a minute, why is Beatnik going slow? And Zakaria ignored yellow flag. Oh boy, a lot of people got penalties for ignoring yellow flags. I think it's because of the AI of Piper. That's probably why. But anyway, Scyther leading the charge. The Chiller fighting with Beatnik for 2nd right now. And the Chiller is in the penalty box. Wait, why does Scyther have 8 seconds? What did Scyther do? Oh my god. Ignoring yellow flags, really? Wow, a lot of people got ignoring yellow flag penalties. So a lot of people just got ignoring yellow flag penalties for some weird reason. I mean, I'm going to have to look back at that, but Scyther has 8 seconds of penalties right now. And DeChiller trying to slingshot past Beatnik for second. He does. And Beatnik up down in the third. But here we go. I mean, literally, this is just weird as hell. Because literally Scyther, Zakaria, Florian, Gerard, they all got those penalties. I mean, literally look at this. Stenner, Florian, Pinarello. No, not Pinarello. Yeah, Florian, Stenner, Zakaria, and Scyther all got 5 seconds for ignoring yellow flags. I'm not sure why though. But anyways, Jack just lost a third to Beatnik. And Reese's slingshot his way saying, I'll take that, thank you very much. But now we're entering the final lap of this race. Now the Chiller has a 3-second penalty, so he's got to gain a gap to get his win counted. Right now, he's going to drop to 5th. Well, it's up to Scyther. Can he get some help to the... Well, 3 wide. Good God, Scyther just trying to fight off the Red Bulls. And the Red Bulls are squawking around with each other. That gives the Chiller the opportunity to pull away. The Chiller's over 3 seconds ahead. Scyther's struggling on those tires. George is up in the 5th. Beatnik down to 4th. Scyther trying to be a defensive wall for Jack. Reese decided, I'm going to go for a shot to get around both of them. Goes wide and off into there. Whoa, boy! Woo! Reese almost took his teammate out. But as they come around the final corners, this is going to be tight. But can DeChiller successfully claim his win? He's ahead. He's crossed first. DeChiller wins in Imola. Jack second. Reese third. Beatnik fourth. George fifth. Red Fire will claim 6. Bourbon 7. Josh 8. Zakaria 9. Stenner in 10th. And unfortunately, a strategy call goes wrong. Scyther is going to have to settle for the back of the field, unfortunately. So Scyther gets no points, and DeChiller claims a win. First win of the season. But there it is. So Scyther wins. Not Scyther. DeChiller wins his first race of the season. Good work for him. And Reese, third, by the way. I'm just going to say it. I really don't care. Reese, driver of the day. He was involved in that lap 1 demolition explosion on lap 1. Was all the way down in 18th and then recovered a 3rd. That's really strong. So Reese driver today, in my opinion. So Jack second, Darius the winner. Really good. And what a chaotic end too. But Darius, his first win of the season. Reese with a recovery drive of dreams to get into third place. And Jack second. Good result for him as well. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Darius, his first win of the season. Wonderful work for him. So let's take a look at the final results here. So Darius wins the race. Jack second, Reese third. Beatnik finishes fourth, and Aston Martin. George fifth for Williams. The strongest result for the Williams team. Redfire in Alpine for sixth. Bourbon, 7th. Josh, 8th. Zakaria, 9th. And Stenner rounds out the top 10. Then it is Gerard in 11th. Florian, 12th. Pinarello in 14th. And then 13th. And Scyther had to settle for 15th. And the DNFs, Crispy, AFJ, Owen, Ads, and Will. That will conclude the stream for today. My goodness, what a wild... What a wild result, to say the least. But yeah, what an end of Tier 1 for that. For that race. So, let's go forward with next week's events. So, Tier 2, coming up for Friday. The Tier 2 drivers will be racing around Spa-Francorchamps. You will be seeing Ryan Ocon on commentary for that event. You'll also see him on commentary again for F2, which is going to be the rescheduled Portimao. I think that's what it's going to be. If it is not going to be rescheduled, it will be Spain to be the next race. And speaking of Spain, that's where the RPL Tier 1 drivers are heading to next week. So, chaos, rain at the end, destruction, everything was there. What a wild end to that race. From RPL Streams, Ty and Ironwolf, signing out. Good night.